I was surprised by some of the imagery in the Garden of Earthly Delights. Like when you push in on some of the details,
Hmm.
it's pretty pornographic.
Yeah, it is. And pornography is really interesting in art, or nudity is super interesting in art because it's like, why is art? I used to get kids on my, when I took them around galleries saying, everyone's naked. It's like, yeah, they are actually, but it's the one thing that unites us. If you think that you go to, your Thursday nights in galleries in New York, and you're looking at someone who's wearing Gucci or Fiorucci or whatever they're wearing, that separates them from someone like me who's in a t-shirt and jeans, and nudity, being naked, is what separates us, is how we were born, and it's a universal truth. It's what we are, and that's what they're trying to say. But the most interesting thing about nudity is that it's very difficult to draw someone naked. It's very easy to draw someone in clothes, so it's a bit of show offing. It's a bit of artists showing off as well. And the nudity in the Garden of Earthly Delights is really because it's the Garden of Eden where we were naked. Well, not us, but Adam and Eve, and it's a representation of that. It's hinted at nudity. It's hinted at sex. There's only, as I show in the film, there's only one incident where someone is actually, doing it. But it's hinted at. But what's really interesting is, first of all, in the David video, I explained that he had a row of fig leaves covering him up when he was first launched. They were too embarrassed. It's a complete myth that people during the Renaissance were okay with nudity. They weren't. They were shocked by nudity. And don't forget that a lot of these statues that you see, and a lot of nude paintings, Goya in particular, they were kept in separate rooms for the men. These were naked women in rooms for men and their buddies to go in and have a look at. And they were. Last year, this same time last year, I was in New Mexico, and I went to see some paintings by D.H. Lawrence, pornographic paintings by D.H. Lawrence. Believe it or not, they were awful, by the way. And I went I paid like $2 or something for a woman to pull a curtain and open up these pornographic paintings. And it made me think that's exactly what it would have been like in the 1500s. Nudity wasn't an accepted part of life. It maybe more so in ancient Greece. But Michelangelo had a very good excuse to make David naked, to depict him naked, because the Renaissance was all about the rediscovery of ancient Greek art, where nudity was in those. And he was saying, look, they did it, so I have to do it. But sometimes when it boils down to it, it's a simple thing of, it's really hard to do a naked person and I'm showing off, And if ever you've been to Florence and you go to Piazza della Signoria, you see the copy of David, and next to it is the worst nude statue you've ever seen in your life. It looks like, as Michelangelo called it, a sack of potatoes, and but it's the nudity. I think that nudity in the Garden of Earthly Delight shocked me a little bit. I was like thinking, oh, this is a bit racy. But there are theories about it. There are a lot of people don't believe my theory. A lot of people think that it was meant to be titillation. And I think it was as well. I think
Yeah, I
you can
think
have
that
both.
you nailed it on the head in the narrative where you just said this work is a piece of entertainment or something like that. It's
Yeah,
entertaining.
conversation piece. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was really what it was for.
Yeah, and I think the nudity is, on the one hand, it's biblical and all that kind of stuff, but on the other hand, it's a bit of titillation. It's in the same way that altarpieces are normally for religious institutions. I'm saying that the Garden of Earthly Delights was actually a private commission, but we never have to forget that sometimes it can be two things. It doesn't have to be one thing. It can be a religious object as well as something for, titillation. I think that those monks in the 1500s, they used to get off on looking at naked people in paintings. I really do. I think let's not pretend that it didn't happen, because I'm sure it did.
Oh yeah. If it can happen now, it happened then.
Yeah. But it's sometimes nudity is early pornography. I mean, we know that. We know that a couple of Goya's paintings were in private hands in private rooms, So it was like, it's in the same way that the video camera was invented for pornography, or it drove it. It drove things. In the way that the internet was driven by pornography, so was art. Really, so art was driven by sex. Sex drives everything.
Yeah, some of the earliest motion picture content is porn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and some of the early silent movies are, if what's his name, Griffiths. There's so much nudity in his films. There's so much. It's shocking, actually. I doing my research, I was looking at silent movies of Adam and Eve. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. You know what they're for,